Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you a run I had in Reigns in which I actually broke the record. As far as I can tell, the only record with photo evidence or video evidence was 275 years old. Obviously people claim to have over 300, but I couldn't actually find any evidence, so I just assumed that 275 is the official record. So I set out to break that record. I had so many fails along the way. I even had a fail at 272 years. I just screwed up right at the end. This one actually went so much better. You'll see in this video I'll be teaching you all the strategies that I use to do, what I do, and please, it might be hard to follow along because I do swipe the cards very fast. I know the outcomes of most of them just by reading the first few words. So yeah, let's get right into it. As you can tell, the year is about almost the year 3000 already. So why I'm doing that is I already prepared for, by the way, just look at this. I just want you to watch this. I purposefully sacrificed all my money because I knew that I had a backup central bank that I built previously, which means that I can keep my army even happier. It doesn't matter if I use up my one remaining money instead of having my army go down to maybe 10. So yeah. Also, notice that I built that barn and I just used it here. So throughout this whole time, I'm going to be purposefully sacrificing certain resources because I know that I'm going to be able to, replenish my other resources even higher than they were before with no punishment, with no drawbacks. I don't know what to say, but yeah. So the year just hit 3000. This old age thing is kind of annoying, but I'll get to that later. I have 18 minutes to talk to you. So yeah, you can watch the gameplay in the background and just kind of listen to these tips and tricks I'm going to be talking about. Firstly, before you even start trying to get really high scores over 100, over even 200, 300, play the game a bit. Do a run through of the entire game, trick the devil maybe twice, Basically, you'll get to know the cards, and you see how this old age thing doesn't even impact me at all. I don't care that I have old age because I already know what the outcomes are going to be. You should get to know that as well. And once you feel like you've gone through every card in the game, at least twice, then you can start to try and go for records. So now that we've got that out of the way, the first thing you're going to want to do is reset the game. And to do that, you're going to need to press 2 fingers on the screen, hold it for 5 seconds, and then an option will come up to reset it, and click yes. So once you reset the game, start up a fresh game, obviously. And by the way, did you just notice there how it said the vase thing offered me a potion? You gotta take that. We'll talk about that later, but that's key. Otherwise, you cannot get past 100 years. So back to what I was saying. Start up a new game, and immediately, as soon as you can, just swipe through the cards. Doesn't really matter what happens, doesn't matter how many times you die. Just unlock the dungeon as fast as you can. Get into that dungeon, and by now you should be mastered the dungeon already. You can get to anywhere you want to go. So what you're going to try and do, you stay in the dungeon until you can get to the skeleton called, I forget what his name is called, but he's a friendly skeleton, right? So what happens is a lot of the time people go into the dungeon and then they end up just getting a key and just leaving the dungeon. But there's no point in that. Because the only reason that I could think of that you'd want to do that is A, you're forced to go into the dungeon, or B, when you exit the dungeon, it'll actually replenish all of your resources. Pretty high, like 50% maybe. So if you only have like barely any resources, yeah, go into the dungeon and then just leave the dungeon and like your resources will be higher. But in this game, all you want to do, stay in the dungeon, keep finding those gold doors as often as you can, and until you finally get a torch, and once you get a torch, it should be easy from there. I'm going to assume that you already know how to get there, but like, yeah, you get a torch, and I'll go over it now anyways. Get a torch, go through the fire doors, arsenic doors, acid doors, then break the wall opposite the gold doors, then go opposite the pentagram. There's a pentagram door there, it's a fake devil's door, and then once you do that, then there's going to be another devil's door, and you're going to be like confused, I guess. By the way, check what I just did here. Sacrificed my people to get an army, and then sacrificed my army to get my money up, and then sacrificed my people to get my army up, and then sacrificed my army again to get my people up. Because these high walls that I have and fortifications, they actually work with each other. So you're basically immune to having, if your people reach 0, or your army reaches 0, you're covered, don't worry. Back to what I was saying, get into the dungeon, and once you get that skeleton, then you're obviously going to go and try and get the strawberry as fast as you can. The way to do that, the doctor will introduce you to the vase, and then once you're introduced to the vase, find the frozen blood, whatever it is. The witch will offer you to do some quest. You have to survive like 15 years with old age or something. Once you do that, she'll offer you 2 gifts. Take the cold red ruby. The vase will awaken. Once you awaken the vase, go on a crusade when the option arises. And while you're on the crusade, just keep saying no to anybody who tells you that you should be ending the crusade. Just keep saying no until finally the vase will give you the option to revive something that's extinct. Revive strawberry plants, it'll give you a strawberry. Then go into the dungeon as fast as you can again. Give that strawberry to the skeleton, the friendly skeleton, and boom. Now, the reason why you gotta do that is because it'll come into play later, but that friendly skeleton, whenever one of your resources is slightly low once in a while, he'll show up and for free just replenish it, like 25, 30, sometimes 15. But anyway, he'll just replenish it for free. And this is extremely helpful. Another reason why is because I mentioned it earlier, the later you get into the game, like, you're eventually going to die of old age, right? But the vase, occasionally, it's not that rare, but you kind of got to get lucky with it. Sometimes you get the option, sometimes you don't. He'll offer to give you a potion that'll make you look 10 years younger. As far as I've played, you just never die of old age after you get that. Like, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But until you get that potion, here's where the actual playing of the game comes in. Whenever the doctor tells you to do something, just do it. Like, the doctor says you have that rhinodendron thing, then you should avoid riding for a while. Sacrifice your army by 10, and just avoid riding for a while. Also, you'll notice here, you gotta, like, whenever you get that dog option, always choose to just keep swiping no, not there until he gives you the option to go into the forest and tell him be nice. And once you tell him be nice, he'll bring you to a mushroom. Eat the mushroom, gives you clarity, and now you can see all of your choices, exactly what they'll do. So, what I was saying before, oh yeah, just whenever the doctor tells you to do something, do it, and if the queen ever asks you if you want to eat her cake, tell her no, because it'll just make you die of old age faster. Yeah, whenever you have the option, build communal barns, high walls, the central bank, and cathedrals, because basically what those do, they give you a cushion for if you ever run out of one of the resources, You'll just be able to replenish it. You won't die. Yeah, and whenever it gives you the option, it asks you like, oh no, the communal barn's on fire, send the army, for example. Send the army, keep the barn alive. Here's a thing that I only learned recently and I hadn't been paying attention to, but I did actually realize it recently. You can see I only have 4 effects going at once, which means that eventually, the more effects I start getting, it just gets rid of your last effect. So basically, I got old age a while ago, right? But soon enough, I'll get 2 more effects. Old age will be pushed off of my effects, and I won't have it anymore. Similar. So this is very helpful when you get effects that you don't want but you can't avoid. Like sometimes the church. By the way, check this extremely tough situation. And look what happens. I've got high walls. I've got a communal barn. I was at 1 army, 0 people, and 7 monies. I guess that's how you can say it. And boom, right here, all I need now is some money, and then I'll be good to go. I was saying before, oh yeah, the effects. So, for example, sometimes you get stuck with theocracy. So the church will tell you, basically one of the guys from the church will tell you, you've committed a sin, you're under arrest, and you can either tell them, I repent, or go to hell. And if you tell them go to hell, the church automatically just goes to 0 and you just die. But if you tell them I repent, it puts you in another tough situation, a government in which you have to say yes to the church. And this really sucks because if you can't say no to the church, eventually they're going to get to 100, right? Because everything you say yes to the church for will obviously make the church happier. So what you can do here, try and get as many effects as you can. Try and get 4 effects, and that'll automatically make the theocracy go away. And yeah, the only way to survive that kind of thing is whenever you have the option, unless it'll like kill you for sure, do something that the church will not like. That'll like lower it by 5, by 10, even by 20, that's good. And yeah, just keep pushing those effects. The more effects that you have the option to get, but you will want to avoid. Discovering a new world. Yes, it'll give you unlimited army, it'll give you unlimited money, but it's way too hard to control both of them at once. Spending all of your army, spending all your money, and trying not to let your people in your church get to, 100. So, avoid that. Also, avoid the slave trade because it's too hard to control to try and get your people all the way up while trying to get... Here, I got stuck with theocracy, so you can watch what happens. You're trying to get your people... Because your people are constantly going down, your money's constantly going up, it's too much to manage. Another thing is the crusade, because again, money's going up, people going down, it just sucks, you can't control it, and eventually it's going to kill you. Here is an example of something really stupid I did. I didn't actually know that choice would make my people go all the way to 100. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I got really lucky there. I won Red Dwarf against the Jester, but a lot of the time he doesn't offer to play Red Dwarf. A lot of the time you lose to him. So yeah, that was super duper lucky. Should have probably died there, but I got lucky. And you know what? This game is a lot about luck as well. Certain cards, here's the skeleton clock. Certain cards, like for example, the vase offering you the potion. Like, you can't force some stuff like that, and yeah, it'll control the outcome of your game. A few more things I want to cover. Obviously, try to keep all of the powers balanced. The reason why I'm at the year 3,000, 3,200 almost now is because basically never try and trick the devil in this game mode, because if you're trying to beat the record or trying to get a really high score, because that'll just reset the game, and then you'll have to go through all of that, going to the dungeon, getting that strawberry, awakening the vase, getting the skeleton on your side. You don't have to go through that, like, every single time, because you trick the devil. Like, you don't get anything out of tricking the devil. You don't get any, points or anything. So yeah, there's like no point in doing it. Just only the only yeah, like once you eventually get to so there's a weird glitch here where it looks like my money's full, but it's only 11. What was it? Yeah, don't trick the devil. And eventually, after the devil's last visit in 1998, every time you play, the spirit of the fallen, at the beginning of every game, he'll say, "Oh, the devil's gone forever. Aren't you bored of this?" Just say no. If you say yes, it'll reset the game automatically. Yeah, I think that's about it. In case you want to know how long it took to get this record, well, obviously it took me like 2 weeks to learn the game, to like, play through it a bunch of times. I spent a lot of hours on it, probably like, not a lot of hours to be able to break the record. Probably like 6-7 hours on it. And once you actually start trying to break the record, it took me like also a good like 2-3 weeks of just trying, every day I'd try a few times. Some days I'd push really hard, go for like 7, 8, 9 attempts. Depending on how long each attempt is, like how good you are at the game overall, it'll take longer. The more attempts you have that are like over 100 that you fail at. I had a lot of those actually. Yeah. To get the vase and the dungeon and the strawberry and all that stuff going, it takes about half an hour if you play it fast. Yeah. This game itself, obviously, it took 18 minutes, about the size of the video. Actually, it's coming to an end now. You can see... Well, no, there's nothing to talk about, really. The only good effect I'd say going for that, like, is a constant effect is the silk trade, because it's giving you money for free and not taking anything away from you. And money's used for most things in this game. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'm probably gonna try a speed run of this game in the future to, trick the devil as fast as I can. Try and do it in maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes or less. Yeah. I'll spoil it right now. This is oh, never mind, no spoiling it. Yeah, I just made a bad choice. I'd made a mistake before. I'm not used to that card, and I'll probably not make it again in the future, but thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next video.